In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 college football games happening on November 15, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Wisconsin versus Indiana. Indiana hosts Wisconsin in an early afternoon Big Ten matchup, and the setting feels familiar. Indiana has covered the number in 3 of 4 games as a 4-score favorite this season, and the team has gone 6-2 against the spread at home in league play under Cignetti. One of the 2 losses came on a late field goal by Michigan State that turned a comfortable margin into a 1-point miss with half a minute left. Indiana showed some grit after its close call against Penn State, and the team now returns home with a chance to steady itself before the postseason. The Hoosiers often start fast, build a wide gap, and keep applying pressure even after the result feels settled. The pattern has held in most of their home games, and nothing in this matchup points to a major shift. Wisconsin brings a defense that battles, but its offense offers little support. When O'Neal left last week's game, the attack stalled and backup quarterbacks could not string together simple completions. The unit looked like it lacked even a basic structure. Indiana still sits on a path toward a possible national title run, and many expect the season to hinge on a likely meeting with Ohio State in the conference championship. Last week nearly derailed things, yet Indiana escaped with a late surge and avoided a damaging loss. Wisconsin also claimed a win, slipping past Washington at Camp Randall for its first league victory. The result helps the Badgers, but it does not guarantee a true rise in form as they head into Bloomington. Wisconsin has struggled all year. The Badgers rank 133 out of 136 in total offense, a mark that would trouble any major program. They failed to score against both Ohio State and Iowa, and even against modest defenses they have had trouble sustaining drives. Their approach leans on the run, often with little variation, while Indiana enters the game ranked 6th against the run. The matchup puts Wisconsin in a narrow lane, and the team has not shown that it can push through top-tier opponents. Indiana, aware of Ohio State's 34-0 result against the Badgers, understands the standard it hopes to exceed. The Hoosiers see a chance to re-establish rhythm, and they face a Wisconsin squad hit by injuries, short on direction, and still searching for a consistent plan. The comparison across both units points toward a wide separation, but the full scope of the game must come into view before any firm outcome appears. As our first pick for this matchup, the Indiana Hoosiers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Wisconsin has played 6 league games, and the under has cashed in 5 of them with 1 push on a total of 37 when Iowa won by that same score. The question becomes whether Wisconsin can reach more than 6 points in this setting. Indiana ranks 5th in total defense, and Wisconsin sits in the bottom 20 on offense. Multiple injuries at quarterback and running back have limited the Badgers, and they now meet a defense that ranks 5th in opponent third down rate, while Wisconsin ranks 129 in converting those downs. Indiana often finds the end zone early, but the pace of scoring tends to slow once the game settles. The shape of this matchup points toward a controlled second half, but only at the end can the final picture become clear. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total, is our full game total pick. Iowa versus USC. The Iowa Hawkeyes and the USC Trojans meet Saturday at Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum for a college football matchup that brings a clear contrast in strengths. Iowa has played with a tight defensive approach this season, which showed again in the game against Oregon. The team's 3 losses have come by a total margin of 10 points. Iowa has a road mark of 2-1 straight up, shaped by a 3-point loss at Iowa State, and they hold a 2-0-1 record against the spread in those outings. USC is perfect at home with a 5-0 record, and the group owns a 4-1 mark against the spread in those games. The challenge for them comes from a defense that gives up only 250.2 yards per game, about half of what USC gains on average. Both teams enter in solid form. USC has a 3-1 stretch in its last 4 games, along with 5 straight home wins. Iowa has a 5-2 run in its last 7 games and a 6-1 record against the spread. USC brings one of the most productive offenses in the country, and Iowa brings one of the most reliable defenses defenses, which sets the stage for a slow grind rather than a free-scoring contest. Iowa has shown toughness even when pushed around at the line of scrimmage, as seen in the Oregon game where the Hawkeyes still held the Ducks to 16 points and kept a chance to win late. USC has more explosive skill talent and has shown that it can stretch a game. Iowa's passing attack has not produced at a high level, and falling behind by multiple scores would force them into a position that does not match their strengths. At the same time, Iowa rarely suffers lopsided losses. Their 3 defeats have come by an average of 3.33 points. This sets up a long, steady fight in which the flow depends on the early tempo and field position before any final judgment takes shape. As our first pick for this matchup, Iowa Hawkeyes to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Iowa has a 4-1 mark to the under in 9 games. The defense has held 4 opponents to 7 points or fewer and a 5th opponent to 16. No opponent has scored more than 28 points on them this season. USC has a 5-4 mark to the over. The Trojans have scored at least 31 points in each of their 5 home games, yet they have not faced a unit this disciplined. USC will find some success, and Iowa will try to keep the field short and the clock moving, which shapes the direction of the matchup before the final outcome comes into full view. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. NC State versus Miami. The Miami Hurricanes welcome the NC State Wolfpack on Saturday afternoon. The setting should offer clear skies and warm weather. NC State arrives with momentum after its upset of Georgia Tech 2 weeks ago, a result that helped scramble the Atlantic Coast Conference standings. Miami sits in a tight spot with 2 losses on its record and a difficult trip to Pitt waiting at the end of the season. The pressure on Miami is real, and every remaining game matters. The opening stage of this matchup turns on how each team responds to that pressure and how long NC State can keep the game within reach before the tempo shifts. For the side analysis, the discussion centers on the NC State defense. The Wolfpack sit near the bottom of the national rankings in total defense at 120, and they rank second from the bottom in passing yards allowed. They have seen pass-heavy teams like UVA and Pitt, but they have also played run-first teams, and the results have looked the same. Opponents have found space through the air with little resistance. Miami's passing game, led by Carson Beck, matches up with that weakness. NC State can score through the air, but its defense has allowed 36, 53, and 36 points in its last 3 games. Miami beat Syracuse last week and stretched the lead late, while still showing moments of uneven play. NC State's resume includes a strong win over Georgia Tech and losses to Virginia Tech and Pitt. The opening line placed Miami in a spot that looked like it invited wagers on the underdog, yet early action moved toward Miami and pushed the spread higher. Miami also has its postseason hopes on the line, while NC State faces the emotional challenge of following a big win. These elements set the stage for how the side of this game shapes up, and only at the end does the direction become clear. As our first pick for this matchup, the Miami, Florida Hurricanes to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The total analysis turns to scoring pace on both sides. Miami is favored by 16.5 points, and that number signals confidence that its offense can find yards against the NC State defense. Carson Beck comes into this matchup after an efficient outing against Syracuse, where Miami scored 38. NC State has not shown steady resistance on defense, giving up 53 to Pitt and 45 to Duke. Miami can stretch the field with Toney at receiver and can work inside with Fletcher in the run game. NC State brings its own firepower. The Wolfpack scored 48 against Georgia Tech, with C.J. Bailey throwing for 340 yards. Both teams show the ability to move the ball and create long drives, and the recent results point to the possibility of a fast scoreboard. These factors shape the approach to the total and lead to the final direction at the end. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Georgia Tech versus Boston College. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, at 8-1 with a 6-3 mark against the spread and a 5-4 record on totals, face the Boston College Eagles, who sit at 1-9 with a 4-6 mark against the spread and a 6-4 record on totals. They meet on Saturday afternoon for an Atlantic Coast Conference matchup that brings 2 teams with very different seasons into the same spotlight. Georgia Tech has dropped only one game, yet the team has dealt with large point spreads that have made consistent covers hard to secure. They have covered 3 of their last 6 outings. Their most recent setback came against an NC State squad with only 2 wins in league play, a result that raised concern about Georgia Tech's ability to handle pressure in tight games. Boston College has played with more fight than its record shows. The Eagles have stayed within the number in 2 of their last 3 games, and those came against strong opponents in Notre Dame and SMU. Boston College uses a pass-heavy approach. The team averages about 270 passing yards each game, a figure that places it 29th in the country. That steady output matches well with a Georgia Tech secondary that has allowed an average of 230 passing yards and sits at 82nd. 5 of Georgia Tech's victories came by 15 points or fewer, which shows that many of their wins have unfolded with limited breathing room. Georgia Tech brings a strong offense, and it should find chances against a Boston College defense that ranks 125th in total defense and 128th in scoring defense. Georgia Tech has covered 6 of its last 9 games. Boston College enters senior night with 29 seniors, and the team has covered 10 of its last 15 games when listed as a double-digit underdog. As our first pick for this matchup, the Boston College Eagles to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Georgia Tech's offense has produced at a steady pace in league play. The team has scored at least 30 points in 5 of 6 ACC games, and it put up 36 points in its most recent road game. Boston College has allowed at least 28 points in 5 of its last 6 games, which shows a clear pattern of defensive strain. Boston College should also find room to operate. Georgia Tech gives up about 395 yards each game, and that number leaves space for a quick passing attack that leans on tempo. Boston College ranks 35th in plays per game, and the pace often forces defenses into long afternoons. The Eagles have seen the total go over in 5 of their last 6 November games, which adds another point of context before reaching the final call as our second pick for this matchup. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Oklahoma versus Alabama. The Oklahoma Sooners took a major win at Tennessee in Week 10, then used the bye week that followed to reset before their trip to Tuscaloosa for a meeting with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama has been steady at home this season, winning every game by double digits, including a 20-9 result against LSU last week. They also carry a sense of unfinished business since their loss to the Sooners in Week 13 last year likely kept them out of the college football playoff. This matchup brings together 2 teams that look built for postseason play. The Tide have shown their sharpest form in their home stadium where they remain unbeaten, and they have covered the spread in every home game as well. Quarterback Ty Simpson has grown into a leading figure in the Heisman conversation. He has 21 touchdown passes and only 1 interception, and he works with receivers who help him solve strong defensive looks. Oklahoma arrives with an elite defense that ranks 8th in scoring and 4th against the run. Their main issue shows up on offense. Quarterback John Mateer has struggled with the passing game, and the Sooners sit at number 62 in passing and number 93 in rushing. Alabama's defense often forces errors at home, which puts the offense in favorable field position. Turnover margin and discipline also lean toward the Tide. They rank 4th in turnover margin and 33 in penalties per game against Football Bowl subdivision opponents, while Oklahoma sits at 98 and 103. Alabama has not given up more than 20 points at home this season. The Sooners have hurt Alabama in the past with a mobile quarterback, but they may need more than Mateer's legs in this spot. Their passing game has lagged since Week 7, with rankings of 125 in passing downs, predicted points added, and 120 in predicted points added per pass. Alabama's passing game matches up well with Oklahoma's defense. The Tide's offensive front can handle pressure and blitz packages, and the Sooners have shown some recent cracks against strong passing offenses. Over the last 5 weeks, they sit at number 126 in passing downs, predicted points added allowed, which could make third downs difficult against an Alabama offense that sits inside the top 12 in conversion rate. Both teams fight hard in the Southeastern Conference, and this setting looks like another tight, physical contest. Alabama has handled every home opponent with force this season, and the current line sits under a touchdown, which shapes the context for the analysis that follows. The reasoning builds toward the final view at the end, not before it. As our first pick for this matchup, the Alabama Crimson Tide to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. This game also brings together 2 of the top 3 defenses in the Southeastern Conference. Their meeting last year produced only 27 points. With 3 games left in the regular season, both teams carry more wear and fatigue. Oklahoma's offense has dipped, scoring 26 or fewer points in 3 of the last 4 games. One of those was a 6-point performance at home against Texas, the second-best defense in the conference. Alabama's offense has slowed as well, and last week marked their lowest output since the season opener. The under has hit in 2 of the last 3 meetings and 12 of the combined 18 games played by the two teams this season. Oklahoma allows only 14 points per game and scores 29. Alabama allows 17. Both defenses cause long drives and limit explosive scoring. The under has hit 3 straight times for Alabama at home, 7 of 9 times for Oklahoma this season, and 3 of 4 times for Oklahoma on the road. This matchup looks like a physical Southeastern Conference game with long possessions and few open windows. Oklahoma's defense remains one of the strongest units in the country. Mateer's health remains a concern, and he now faces a steady Alabama defense. The full analysis builds toward the outcome only at the end. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.